about Muhammad forgot the the messages from God. So how do you explain about his mission as a prophet? But then, what about the Lawful Mahfuz, the tablets on the heavens?
You mean al-Lawh al-Mahfuz?
Yeah. That's the one.
You mean
how could
the protected tablet? The protected tablet, you mean?
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Muhammad, he have a lot of fiction stories, and he is copying from other religions. You see, if you study other religions like the Zoroaster, you know, the Persian old religion, they have a belief in things like this, like, you know, like the version story is coming from the Persian. And you know, if you remember, Muhammad, he used to spend many hours with a guy, his name is Salman al-Farisi, and you know what Farisi mean? I mean the Persian. Salman the Persian.
Farisi Persian.
Yes, Persian. So yes, so he spent all night with him. Even Aisha, she said, like, we were afraid that we, you know, like, we are jealous from Salman, because he spent time with the Prophet at night more than he stay, you know, like he says, stay with us. So Muhammad learned a lot of things from Salman al-Farisi, and whatever he hear, he's observing, and he is using it for his religion. So suddenly we have in his religion, we have versions, you know. And suddenly we have
the funny thing is that if he's a chosen prophet from God, then the message that was sent, every message was sent by God. If it is eternal and they haven't, then why he forgot? You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and not only this,
very funny argumentation, I think.
And you see, if Muhammad just forgot the Quran, and you know, as the previous caller, he said, well, he's a human being. It's possible. That is possible. That's true.
Yeah,
that's possible. But
doesn't make any sense.
Yes, but when God, he says to you, you will never forget, and that's what the Quran says. Allah is saying to him, we will give you Quran, and you will not forget the Quran. Then you forget the Quran. Obviously, this promise is a false promise.
Yeah.
So Allah is a false God.
That's true.
So this is a statement of a false God, false prophet, who said that he been given a promise from God that he will be giving Quran and he will not forget the Quran. And then later we find him forget the Quran. And then he start making excuse by saying, oh, Allah, if he calls us to forget the Quran, he will give us something better. But this is contradiction for what you said in the reverse, that he will not forget the Quran. Right. So, and why Allah, he will cause you to forget the Quran anyway? So why he sent it? You know?
Yeah. So the all the message or the ayahs of the Quran in the earth is not eternal, right?
Well, I believe the Quran is nothing but it's a yellow pages. It's a collection of stories. There's nothing to do with the, you know. But the Muslim idea is that this Quran is preserved. But if anyone is studying the Quran, he will find that the chapter of Al-Fatiha has not even existed in the Quran. You see, the first chapter of Al-Fatiha, the first chapter of the Quran, it does not make sense, you know, because if you read carefully, if you ask the Muslims, what is Al-Fatiha? All right. They will say to you, it is the opening of the Quran. Okay. And what this opening? They say to you, it's a prayer. Okay, it's a prayer.
Yeah.
And this prayer is made by who? You know, they say to you, this is given by Allah. All right. But read with me carefully, my friend. It says here something very weird, because you see, when they asked Jesus how to pray, Jesus, he said to them, pray like this. But here, the one is talking supposed to Allah. Read carefully. It says, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah. Allah is saying, praise be to Allah. So
it's very, very confusing.
Allah is saying in the name of Allah. It doesn't make sense. You see, if the chapter start with saying like say, or pray like this, or say like this, then it makes sense. There's many verses in the Quran says say, you know. That makes sense. But here there's no saying. So Allah is talking in the name of Allah, most gracious. Why Allah saying in the name of Allah? So who is the one who's talking? I say in the name of
which God.
Is
there any other God in again?
And if I am a Christian
That's the
prince,
question, isn't it?
if I am a Christian prince, I will not say in the name of Christian prince, unless I am just a
Yeah,
person,
that's right.
different person who represent Christian prince. So in the name of Allah is obviously somebody he is speaking in the name of Allah, not Allah. And if you ask the Muslims, is that the words of the angel Jibreel? They say to you, no, this is the word of Allah. So it's not Jibreel saying in the name of Allah, it is Allah saying that. Then he says, praise be to Allah.
Okay.
Allah saying, praise be to Allah. And then he says,
Yeah.
repeating the same thing he just said before. Obviously, somebody is making up a word. It doesn't make sense. Already you said this word for me. And then he says, the master of judgment day, thee do we worship. Allah saying, thee do we worship. Allah worship who? You know. And then thin aid we seek. Allah seeking the aid of Allah. And then show us the straight way. Well, Allah saying, Allah show us the straight way. And then he says, the way of those whom you has best the grace, those who etc. It doesn't make sense. The whole thing is a joke.
Yeah, I agree.
This was a copy from the Christian prayer. Muhammad was trying to make a prayer. The Christian, they have a prayer. It's called Our Father Art of Heaven.
Okay.
And Muhammad trying to copy from that prayer, making a prayer of his own.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Can I ask you another topic about the those Muslim about the Muslim argumentation that says that Muhammad prophecy, not prophecy, but yeah. Do you know about the? Actually, I've asked about this question before, about the confirmation from the Christians. Monks, Bahira, and the other one, Nawfal bin, who's that? He's Khadija's, sorry?
Yeah, waraqa bin Nawfal.
Waraqa bin Nawfal.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? How do you respond about that? Because usually the Muslims usually use this as an argumentation that the Christians at that time, or Nasrani, upholds his prophethood. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, those are Nasara, or those are not the Christians. And the Quran never used the word Christian ever in the whole book. You will see it says, yes, it says Nasara, and we are not Nasara. If you speak to any Christian from the Middle East, you ask him, are you a Christian or Nasara? Are you a Masihi or Nasara? He will say to you, we are Masihi.
I see.
Masihi. I'm not Nasara. Nasara simply, it was a name or a title given to a group of people who they are the same as like Jehovah's Witnesses today, false Christians, rejected Christians. So Muhammad around him, he never have Christians, he have Nasara. And this is why he speak about those who they are Nasara, not about those who they are Christians. However, the story of Waraqa ibn Nawfal appears strongly in the hadith, where it says that when Waraqa ibn Nawfal he died, Muhammad he stopped receiving inspiration. Now, why Muhammad he will receive no inspiration no more? Just because a priest who is not a Christian, he is a Nasara priest, he died. Why? I mean, why Allah will stop sending this guy? Have nothing to do with Muhammad being prophet or not. He's just a man, old man. So why Allah stop sending revelation? What happened? And you will see here that if you read carefully with me, I have it in the screen. It says Khadija then accompanied him, her cousin, to her cousin Waraqa ibn Nawfal. Actually, he is not a cousin like their cousin. Anyway, Waraqa ibn Nawfal, Ibn Asad, Ibn Abdul Uzza, Ibn Qusay. Waraqa was the son of etc., like uncle of blah blah blah, the father or brother, who was during the pre-Islamic period become a Christian. He did not become a Christian. This is a lie. He became Nasara. This guy, he was a pagan. Then he became some story to say he wanted to be a Jew, and then he decided to become Nasara, which is not a Christian. And then he used to write Arabic writing, and used to write of the gospel in Arabic. That is the Quran. Do you see it? It's proven to us here that there's an Arabic writing in the time of Muhammad, which is supposedly Arabic writing of what is called the gospel of the Nasara, not the Christians. All right,
I see.
and this is where Muhammad was getting his revelation. This is not revelation. This is the writing of Waraqa. And then you will see that when Waraqa he died, it says Muhammad he even tried to commit suicide. If you see here, read with me. And then, but a few days after, or after a few days, Waraqa died, and the divine inspiration was also paused. What? Why the divine paused for the death of a man? And then the prophet becomes so sad, as we have heard, that he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of the high mountains. And every time he went up to the mountain in order to throw himself down, Gabriel, which is Jibril, would appear to him before him and say, "Oh Muhammad, you are indeed Allah messenger in truth," whereupon his heart would become quiet and calm down and return home. And then whenever period coming of the inspiration is stopped or paused again, Muhammad he go again to try to commit suicide. So Muhammad, according to the story, he tried to commit suicide after the death of Waraqa because he is not receiving inspiration. Why? Because Waraqa is dead. And now who is going to give him inspiration? The inspiration is not inspiration. This is Waraqa was teaching him what to say. So now after the death of Waraqa, Muhammad he have a problem. What he would do, what he would say to people, where he will get the Quran which was reciting before. But as you see, the hadith here confirming that Waraqa have a book, and most likely Muhammad he got his hand in this book after his death, so he continue. And not only that, but it took him time before he got the solution to read from the book of Waraqa. So it says that he tried to commit suicide, and here the question is a challenge for all the Muslims. Why somebody is a prophet of God, he will do such a thing?
Intend and to kill himself.
Yes, and many times, not only once, not like one, two, you know. And why each time he tried to kill himself, the angel come to him and says to him, truly you are a prophet. That's mean Muhammad himself do not believe he's a prophet. That's why he want to kill himself. So when he said to him, wait, don't do it, don't do it, you are truly a prophet, and Muhammad he relaxed and he go down home. I mean, what kind of a kid this kid is? He said, this is a behavior of a crazy man, a kid. I mean, even a kid will not do that. Why you want to kill yourself? Let us say I was a prophet and God stopped sending me revelation. So what? So what I would do? Why I want to kill myself?
And I've heard that if a Muslim have a big intent to do something, that it must be considered. Like if they want to do the saum, the fast, and they have they want to do it, then it is a very important thing. Then compared to that, in this case, Muhammad himself, he intends to kill himself, so it must be a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the prophet. I mean, if the prophet is working to kill himself, so who's left? This is a work of somebody he don't believe.
It's a sample for everybody.
And this is actually
Muslims.
According to Muslim, it's a sin to kill yourself. Like if they do commit suicide bombing, it's halal. This is because this is jihad. But to kill yourself, just to kill yourself, is forbidden. So why the prophet, even Muhammad himself, he said, the one who kill himself by a knife or a piece of steel, or throwing himself from the high mountain, you know, he will spend his life in eternal life in hellfire. So why you are saying that if you do that, you will go to hellfire, but yet you yourself, you try to throw yourself from the top of the mountain?
Okay.
You know. So it's a chain of contradiction, chain of stupidity, and Muhammad life is very interesting to be explored and laughed at.
Okay. So what do you think about the other one, a priest named Bahira?
You know, there is many stories about Bahira, but I usually focus in the story of Waraqa more, because I believe that Waraqa is the real person who have a real impact on Muhammad life. If he was exist, I mean Muhammad.
I see.
Because Bahira, supposedly he was a person who lived in Damascus, and it might be not a true story. I'm not sure about it. But Waraqa, I believe most likely he is the real father of Muhammad. You know,
I see.
He is a real father, because if you have my book, you will find that when Muhammad father, according to the stories of Muslims, and I have the reference there.
Yeah, I'm still reading it. Yes, that's right. Okay.
When he was going to sleep with Muhammad father, Waraqa, or the sister of Waraqa, she offered the father of Muhammad 100 camel to sleep with her. And does that make sense?
I see.
But most likely Waraqa, he sent his sister to the father of Muhammad, saying to her, trying to convince him not to sleep with that woman, sleep with my sister, because already Waraqa sleeping with her. At that time the Arab, they used to do something is called zawaj al-raht, where a woman, she sleep with many men, and when she got a pregnant, she decide who is the father, you know. So Waraqa, obviously, like there's a story of Muhammad was lost. Where they find him? With Waraqa. Muhammad always can be found with Waraqa. This is why when Muhammad, when Waraqa he died, Muhammad was so sad. So because he do not know any father except Waraqa.
Go on.
This is the only father he know. This is the only real father he know. You know, Waraqa. You know.
About the Nasara again. They mentioned about if I'm not mistaken, from Jalalain, the Nasara were supposed to be people who were being straight, weren't they?
The Nasara is the one who help. Coming from the word, the one who like, which mean the helpers. You know, the helpers of the Messiah. But anyway, that's not true. You know, the Muslims always they try to mix between Arabic and the original language. The word Nasara is coming from the Nazarite, and those are Nazarite is not from the Nasira, the city of Jesus. It is from the word mean poor, the poor in Hebrew. So they are called by the Christians the poor, for they have a poor understanding of the Bible, not because they are poor. So they are called the poor. Those are the Nazara people. So Muhammad, he is speaking about them, and he believed that they are the true Christian because those are a Jew. Those are Jews who've been discriminated to, and they run away to the Arabian Peninsula. When the Christian reject their teaching, they face kind of discrimination during the time of the Roman. So they run away. They run away, escaping from any place have authority of the Roman, because simply they are rejected. So Muhammad, he never met the really Christians. He met only Nasara, and those Nasara, they are rejected by the Christian themselves. So Muhammad always having the influence of the Nasara, who they have their own idea. And Muhammad, he learned from the Nasara that Jesus, when he was on the cross, he, you know, it might really appear that he was there, but because God, he loved his son, there is no way he will make the true Jesus, you know, be crucified. So yes, it was Jesus, but obviously Jesus, he placed his image. They did not say he's a clone. No, they did not say clone as Muhammad say. They say he placed his image, but the true Jesus was not crucified because he is higher than this. So Muhammad, he took the idea of the crucifixion from the Nasara too.
You know? So if the Muslims say that the Nasara at that time were people who were strayed from the right path, which is Islam, then Waraqa himself is not he was not a right Muslim, or
but because Muhammad
Islamic Christian, isn't it?
Right, but because Muhammad is a hypocrite man, he said that Waraqa will go to heaven. Why? It doesn't make sense, you know, because if he is Nasara, you know, how he will go to heaven? It doesn't make sense. But you know, it's
they're full of contradictions.
It is
argumentation.
The real, I believe strongly, Muhammad, he is the maid of his father. He continued the mission of his father, which is Waraqa ibn Nawfal. He created a cult of his own, you know, and he wanted Muhammad to be like a priest of the cult. And it's not about being a prophet, really, you know.